Hello, everybody. This is Pamela.
And this is Tracy.
And we are here to discuss how business really works.
So today we're going to discuss the business success rule and when you know it's okay to quit.
You know, there are rules to doing virtually anything in life, and washing your hair. You know, the old saying is wash, rinse, repeat, right? That's the process you do to wash your hair. So it's the same in business. You have to measure your results, and you have to know what results you're looking to go after in order to succeed. And the process is that you implement, you measure, you adjust, and you repeat. That's the business success rule. And if you don't do that, well, how are you going to know if you succeeded? And if you're thinking about quitting because you got less than optimal results the first time around, how do you know you got less than optimal results if you're not measuring them? And how do you know that you can't get better results by just making some minor adjustment?
Well, you know, business is a science. So just like in a scientific experiment, you have to create your hypothesis. You have to know what to measure, what results you're expecting. And if you don't determine these things ahead of time, you know, it's a little difficult to measure after the fact.
So it doesn't matter whether you are launching a new product or service, implementing a new marketing plan, or bringing an existing product to a new market. You have to set up the system in place to measure your results. And this is the way you maximize your chance of success.
So once you launch, you're going to know your expected results, you're going to know your optimal results, and then you're going to look at your metrics to see kind of where you fall. And if you get less than optimal results, then you look at the details. You find out kind of why you think you didn't get the results you were expecting. And let's say you come up with 3 things that you could do to adjust and improve a little bit that you think will get you your optimal results. Now, don't do them all at one time. Do them one at a time. If you do all 3 things at one time, you have no idea which one created the optimal results. And it might just be one of them. So now going forward, you're going to be doing these 3 things when you really only had to do one.
Even worse, what if you took these 3 actions with the intention of creating optimal results, right? But the reality is that one of these actions created results that actually far exceeded your expectations, and another of those actions actually pushed your results down. It created a negative impact on your results. But since you haven't measured each one individually, you don't really know that. All that you know is that your net result was positive. You don't know, though, that there's like this weird balance going on where something actually could have created much more positive results if you hadn't been dragging it down with the other action that negatively impacted you. So you really need to, again, measure these individually so that you can take that one action that really helped you out and not bother with the action that's really hurting you. And you don't know that it's hurting you because you haven't measured. So take this business, for example, how business really works. We have determined what to measure and how to measure it so that we can chart our success along the way.
Well, that's true. So this is actually a very young business. This is only our 7th episode. So how we determined this is we actually looked at other shows that were doing something similar in format and similar to audience. And we looked at how they grew and how their success happened along the way. And we kind of used that to help set our parameters of what we wanted to expect. Now, don't worry, this is usually very easy information to get. People have a tendency to discuss their success as they become more successful in order to help others along. And even if you can't find it out there somewhere, ask. Business people are incredibly eager to help other people out.
That's true.
So basically, like, we set up our metrics, which are like, in the first 30 days, we expect an episode to get between 700 and 1,000 views. Now, a view could be watching the video on YouTube, listening to the podcast on either iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud, or actually coming to How Business Really Works and viewing it there.
The website, you mean?
Yeah. And, or, you know, we also take the transcript and we turn it into blog posts and we put it out, syndicate it out. So a view can come in different formats. I'm just using the word view. So we expect 700 to 1,000 consumptions. Basically, I guess is what I should say. And of that, we expect 10 to 20% of the viewers to to take a benign action. Benign meaning it doesn't take a lot of effort, so they're going to like it or they're going to share it on social media. And we expect 8 to 10% to take a little bit more of a self-involved action, which would mean like subscribing or watching a previous episode. And then we're expecting 2 to 3% to actually come to howbusinessreallyworks.com and sign up for additional information. And then we're expecting only 0.5 to 1% to actually take a very involved action, such as writing a review or leaving a comment. Now, as long as one of the episodes falls within those metrics, we're pretty good and we don't worry about it too hard. We still, look at the reviews, look at the comments, look at anything that was written on with the social share to learn from it. But when we see our metrics go above that, or we see our metrics go below that, then we seriously study that information to see if the audience will tell us why we perform better or worse. And we take that information and use it to improve in the future. Now, sometimes it doesn't always give you the answer. Sometimes it's just, we were flat and didn't perform well that day. We didn't choose our words correctly. Or we could have just totally missed the mark with the content for that day. It just didn't resonate with enough people. But usually you're going to find that information out if people leave comments.
Right.
So the business success rule is all about measuring and repeating. You implement, you measure, you make adjustments one at a time, and you repeat. And you do this over and over again until you get the results you expect. Now, sometimes you don't get the results you expect. The changes you feel you need to make just don't yield the results. But until you've tested and tested and tested, you can't make the decision to quit, that it's not going to work. You have to know that before you give up.
Right.
So I hope this episode has helped you out, made you realize, business isn't all lollipops and rainbows. Sometimes we have to do real work.
Right, and you have to measure the real results.
And you have to measure the real results, and you have to make real hypotheses.
Yeah.
So
it's like a scientific experiment.
It is. It is a science.
Yeah.
It truly is. Business is a science.
Yeah.
So hope this episode has helped you out. If you have any questions, if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. If you're listening on one of the podcasts, head on over to howbusinessreallyworks.com and leave us a comment there. We really like to hear from you. Ask us new questions. Help us come up with content for the next episode.
Yes, definitely. And don't forget to like this video and share it if you found it useful. And please subscribe. We will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.